Hello, everyone. I would like to introduce you to Derek Smith. Derek is a physical therapist originally from Buffalo, New York. He graduated from Buffalo University. He's also certified geriatric specialist. He runs Roman Rehab, which specializes in physical, occupational, and wellness therapy. Derek is co-owner along with Katie Sage. And so, Derek, how you doing today?
I'm doing really well. How about yourself, Dimitri?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. So, Derek, tell me, you come from a background of home health. Is that what you did before you started Roman Rehab?
Correct. I worked in home health for about 8 years prior to kicking this whole thing off.
Push you, or what kind of let you to start outpatient in-home therapy clinic?
So there were a lot of factors that went into it. In 2020, obviously with COVID kicking off, I saw a lot of like home health was pretty crazy at that time. I felt like there was a lot of like guidelines for hospital. There was a lot of guidelines for nursing homes, but there was really nothing in home health. My patients at the time, I started reaching out more and more about continuing on and doing more like wellness services, kind of more one-on-one therapy. So it started off kind of like an idea, maybe something can work like this with like a side gig throughout 2020. There's more and more people inquiring. And then the home health gig kind of turned upside down. I was kind of forced into figuring out what to do at the start of 2021.
You're saying they started laying people off from home health. Was that an issue or patient?
There's just something with the company that I worked for that was a little not great as far as like employee retention. So they lost a lot of their employees. I ended up leaving the company. I worked with Katie at the time, so she actually ended up leaving the company as well. It's where we kind of got together and decided to start this really as like a side gig in 2021. I ended up working for another home health company, actually two home health companies for a little while while we were trying to get this thing up and running.
That's cool. So, working home health jobs, doing this on the side. How did you hear about this whole outpatient in a home? Because a lot of people haven't heard about it. They always think it's, home health is the only way to go, billing Medicare Part A. What did you read about it or would you hear about this?
Looking into it originally started, Rehab originally started as like a private pay company. So we went into it thinking we're going to do cash pay. Looking into that with Jared's book, as well as going through with on Facebook, trying to just look at like the regulations with it, because cash pay is like such a gray area, especially in the world of geriatrics and Medicare. And that's where we stumbled upon Tony Maritato, and he's been just such a huge resource for us trying to navigate the pitfalls of cash pay versus Medicare, and then figure out our path from there.
Yeah, Tony's great. Very, very, great videos regarding Medicare credentialing and just great advice. Is a great asset to a lot of people in the Facebook community. Okay, so
he's
started
incredible, as well as the Uncaged clinician guys. Before
Uncaged
that was
Clinician.
Uncaged, I think it was the mobile therapy group or something like that prior, and that was a big community resource building kind of a.
Got it. So you guys started private pay, right, as a side gig. Just to confirm, you guys, did a private pay and then you added insurance, I'm assuming, right?
No, we went in with Medicare. I want to say that was partway through 2021. Tried the just private pay thing for a while. That was all right, but coming from a world of geriatrics, and this is kind of like our ideal patient is like 65 and older. How much gray area there was, it's really like how much are you really comfortable with? We decided to go in with Medicare after looking at it.
Got it. So it wasn't actually the number of referrals, just the growth. It's more of the fact that you weren't sure about ability to see Medicare patients on cash basis, correct?
Yeah,
Or
correct.
what?
I would say that was more of a regulatory thing that
Uh-huh.
pushed us into the insurance realm.
Got it. Okay. So Derek,
Yeah.
and just to confirm, from Roman Rehab and yourself, you're located in Colorado?
Colorado, yep, Denver metro area.
Okay. So starting business, do you remember your first referral, first patient?
I remember I had a bunch of people reach out actually, and kind of also like reach back out to them for my home health days. So I had a few like private pay like clients. I remember my first one that really reached out to us was actually located like 30 miles away from like any other of my patients. I was like, it was a private pay patient. So it was just like kind of one of those things where I'm like, okay, you know what, let's see what this is all about. And then that went into, hey, we want to see you 5 days a week. So it was, being
30
a
miles.
new business owner, right? 5 days a week. I was like, you know what, all right, we're gonna do this thing and we're gonna, embrace it and go with it and see where it goes. So I ended up seeing him for a really long time. Like we went from 5 days to 4 days to 3 days, 2 days. And it was a lot driving wise. But at the beginning it was, let's get our name out there and just try and help as many people as we can.
That's an interesting point you're making now. So you said 30 miles. Is there a limit to how far you guys will see your patients now, 3 years into your business?
Yeah. We have like a little map that we give like anybody that we market to or anything like that. So we're mostly like central Denver. It's kind of like central Denver out to the west and southwest.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to grow our boundaries a little bit, but the way that we look at it is, right, I'd rather try and make it make sense with mobile. It's definitely difficult to get your range down. And I think that's even the same in like home health when you first start. So I remember when I first started, my first 3 months of like home health was crazy. I was accepting patients anywhere. I think when you start, you kind of gotta put in the hard work and then just see where it kind of falls from there.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. So a lot of people when they trying to or they want to start business, right? A lot of times mobile clinic, they like to plan and just they don't know how long it will take before they get their first couple of patients and then eventually when they could turn it into a full-time thing. For you, is this a full-time thing now?
Yeah, so we've been full time. It's like mid 2021.
All right. So that it picked up pretty quick then for you, right?
Yeah, with home health, like I feel like just with, I don't know, life in general, right? Like it's about like the relationships you build over time. You kind of never know what comes back up. And I have built a really good relationship with a doctor here in town, like a concierge doctor, and that still does give us a ton of referrals. So like that's something that came to fruition after kind of branching off on my own. It took a while to build up that caseload and then to build up, I felt like it was a little easier to let go of the other stuff. That leap is hard though.
Yeah, that is hard, because you don't know. Yeah, if you're gonna have enough patients, you get used to certain, income. Here, you're on your own. You want to make sure you have enough referrals coming in. So speaking of referrals, from your experience, it seems like you started out just word of mouth, right? Patients already knew about you from previous, or cases you had with other agencies. But best way to get referrals is it? Word of mouth. Is it social media? Is it Google or doctors or a combination of all?
Word of mouth, hands down, bar none, is the best way to get referrals that we've seen. You never know what pops up, and we really focus on relationship building with people. Like I was talking to a client of mine who's become a friend, and his wife is a friend of mine, and like we were talking, she had like an incident where she wanted to see a therapist, but she didn't want to just see a therapist for this amount of time and then have another incident and then have to restart with therapy. She wanted something that was like more, the longevity was there, right? So she wanted to work through this episode and then she's going to switch and start doing like wellness, personal training kind of a thing with the
Yeah.
same therapist. And then if something pops up, go back with that PT. So I feel like word of mouth and relationship building is like the best thing that you can do for referrals. We've done a lot of like doctor's visits, like going to offices and doing meetings, which I feel like plays a good role. We have not had much success with social media. That's something that we would probably want to outsource in like the future, but this time we really don't need to. And then we've dabbled in some other stuff, like bar none, word of mouth. I just had somebody reach out
Wow.
to whittling it down to probably between like 15 and 20, doing admin stuff as well, put up some boundaries.
Got it. So your goal was like 60-40, 60% treatment and then 40% admin, assuming, right, based on the 3 days a week treating and 2 days a week admin. Right. So just to confirm, employer contractor, what's the model that you guys have in Roman Rehab?
So we have one contractor who's a friend who is trying to like start her business. So she hopped on with us pretty early, but I would say definitely like a true contractor. And then we obviously trying to figure out if we wanted to do W-2 versus contractor. We found just the regulations between the two, again, like that whole gray area thing, right? We want to build community. We want to build, just having people for the short term, right? We want our therapists and our employees to work with us for years, right? Offering W-2 and being able to offer like 401k, health insurance, PTO, and that kind of thing maybe cuts at our bottom line a little bit. I think important for the longevity of our business as well as like the overall
Absolutely.
happiness of our employees.
So speaking of which, so how many employees do you currently have, and how many of them full time?
So we have Katie and myself, obviously, and then we just hired our third full-time PT a few weeks ago. So we have three full-time PTs, a part-time OT, three more part-time PTs, and then our friend who's a contractor is a PT. So we have 10 people employed by Roaming
Oh,
Rehab.
nice. Congrats, guys. That's a great milestone, especially
Thank you.
hiring.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was a little, definitely a leap of faith. We had talked about it for a while, and then in August found a PT who we really loved, and we were like, you know what, let's do this, knowing that my baby was coming in October. So kind of like just said,
Okay, so you need to find
screw it, we're
somebody.
gonna really like this person. It's a really good fit. Let's go for it. And then we actually had the week that she was starting, we had another PT reach out that we had interviewed like months ago that was super burned out in her position, who we loved, and she just really wasn't ready to make a leap yet. And she was looking for full-time work. And we were like, she was looking for a full-time position. And we're like, you know what, let's figure it out. And we ended up actually hiring both of them on within like the span of like 2 weeks. And then that was definitely, oh boy, we got to figure out how to keep referrals coming in. That's a whole different level of stress.
Definitely.
But a good one.
That chicken and an egg problem, So what comes first? Is it referrals, or is it the therapist? Right? It's like the hardest thing to figure out, especially when in the beginning.
Yeah, because you don't want to be like too busy that you can't grow, right? But you also don't want to, and also be like too busy and like market and like got the worst thing that we could do is like market to like a doctor, and then they say, okay, here's a referral, and then we're like, well, you gotta, it's gonna
Waiting
be a
list.
couple week wait, right? Like
Yes.
that's like the juggling aspect of it. And then with like the full-time employees, like I mean, just my own way of like looking at it, like now it's like, okay, well, I'm responsible for someone's like livelihood, right? I'm
Absolutely.
responsible for, they have a home, a family, and stuff that they have to, their bills, right? So that's like a whole different level that I never really pictured going into business.
That's a good point. Kind of topic we're getting into. Health benefits at 401k, right? The smaller practices, that's the concern they have. Like, I'm in New York City, right? And a lot of competition out there. A lot of therapists want to be on 1099. Is that an option you guys provide, to being on 1099 if somebody wanted to, or you don't have that option at all?
We do, like if like our friend that works for us, she's a
Got it.
1099, but I mean, if we're hiring somebody, even like part-time or PRN, I feel like unless they have a business that they're working on, just saying that they're a 1099, I feel like is a little, I don't know, I'd rather my liability be a little bit less and just hire
Sure.
them as like a part-time, like
Makes
W-2,
sense. Okay.
which with like a 401k, for like a safe harbor 401k, like we do like a 4% match.
Oh wow,
And that has to go
that's actually
to,
higher than like average. A lot of companies do like 3%. That's
yeah,
nice.
the plans that we picked from, yeah, to be like safe harbor or whatever, like we dove into that, but that's offered to anybody like part-time or full-time. So
Okay.
in order for us to stay in compliance with it.
Okay, that's great. And then do you have one company that does everything, your payroll and your 401k and health insurance, or is it all different places you have to go to get these benefits?
Yeah, our old CPA set us up with Gusto, and that's been like a super big relief as far as like what they've been able to help us like
So
pull up.
Gusto is what you guys use for everything for payroll and the benefits, right? And 401k. Okay,
Yeah,
that's a good
Gusto's
system.
been, I mean, they helped us set up health insurance. They helped us set up like the 401k plan. I
Hmm.
think that was through Guideline. They have a good like health insurance team that helped us like pick plans and then figure out what we were going to offer. The only thing they couldn't do that we had a really big issue with was workers' comp.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that we actually had the companies that they worked with wouldn't insure us through workers' comp because we're
Is there
mobile.
because you guys are mobile and not brick and mortar, and it's like they weren't sure how this whole thing?
Yeah, that was
I've heard this before. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, interesting.
so with
Uh-huh.
mobile, we went Pinnacle Assurance was like the
Uh-huh.
one company that actually would give us like workers' comp, which was like a little like I was like, oh damn, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that was that was definitely a tough like
I'm
pitfall.
yeah. I'm very happy actually we're talking about this because I know this topic comes up pretty frequently among therapy entrepreneurs, people that are thinking to start a business, or those therapists thinking to scale their clinics, right? And it's always that, I know, how can I afford that health insurance or 401k, and what resources are out there. So like having Gusto, which is it's a payroll system, that offers these benefits. That's good to know that it exists and everything could be done through this system. Derek, so in terms of reports, so you mentioned you don't really run the referral report. Do you run any reports on a weekly or monthly basis for your
through
clinic?
HelloNote,
So
like
Hello, so yeah, I
doing?
think we didn't get into
Yeah.
you use HelloNote for your EMR and practice management. Yeah. So what
Yeah.
reports do you use for in HelloNote?
Biggest report that I use, therapist invoice. So that's how
Okay.
I do all my payroll. So we have things, the way that we structure pay is based off of visit type. And then if it's through insurance, we're only in network with Medicare. So we're out of network
Okay.
with Medicare Advantage, although we are able to bill as an out of network provider if they have like a PPO. So
So
if it's
you accept these insurances, you just bill it out of network.
we don't accept those insurance. We see people with those insurances, but we're out of network, so we technically
Right.
don't
You
accept
see
them.
them out of network. That's the right way of phrasing it. Correct. Yeah.
Yes. So Medicare Advantage is a little weird about like how much you're able to charge a Medicare recipient if they have out of network benefits. I think you have to
Mhm.
match Medicare rates, and God knows that's like it's so up and down based on units and stuff. We feel more comfortable with billing the insurance rather than billing the patient on that.
Okay.
So that's yeah, we can definitely dive into that a little bit. As far as
Yeah.
like reports running, like therapist invoice has been huge. That helps me break down what visits we're seeing within our pay periods, and helps me put everything in a spreadsheet and get it ready to like import into Gusto for payroll.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yep, I
Okay.
use therapist invoice a lot. I use the patient with draft notes, so that helps
Okay.
me figure out if there's any notes that I'm missing when I run payroll, because we do payroll twice a month, so it's not
Mm-hmm.
like every other Friday. Um, I've read like twice a month has been very consistent. We do it on the 10th and the 25th. We know our notes need to be in. I want to say like on like the 7th of each month and the 22nd of each
Uh-huh.
month is like the notes from the prior pay period. So that helps me look and see if anybody's like has anything that they might have forgot. So patient with draft notes is a big report. The one that you guys just added, that I think we worked on quite a bit to try and get this added, was the payment details report. That shows credit card transactions through HelloNote. So we use that for all of our co-pays and any private pay visit that we do. The patient wants us to hold a credit card on file. We work with a billing team, which has been the biggest like stress relief ever, right? So they've been amazing. PT Pilot Billing they've been phenomenal.
So you guys outsource your billing, and what company do you use?
PT Pilot Billing. So Matt
Okay.
and his team are phenomenal. So I first started, I'll backtrack a little bit. When we first started, it was just Katie and I. My goal was to learn the billing side of things. So I took the
Sure.
billing. So, but I figured like I needed to learn that so that I can like speak the lingo. Even managing two people with that was enough of a time suck where it was like, okay, now we have to like figure out and outsource this. So I'm glad I learned the lingo and kind of learned how to like see problems when they come up, right? But then we got into talks with Matt and his team, and they've been like phenomenal. But like the going back to like the reports, the payment details report helps us send them like what we've done for like co-pays and what we've done for like our private pay visits and stuff. So like point of service.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool.
What other reports? The notes reports are great just to pull up and started doing. We came up on our yearly reviews, so we're trying to pull together like case mix for people, like what they're billing, also just some metrics with that. So it's been helpful as well.
Okay. Okay. Very good. And I assume you run plan of care report as well, just to track plan of cares for Medicare patients.
The plan of care. Oh God, yeah.
So Derek, just to wrap up, I have a few last questions for you. So
Yeah, of course.
what is Roman Rehab's long-term goal? You have like a 3-year plan or a 5-year plan for the company?
Sustained growth for sure. So we want to become like the provider in the area, right? We definitely want to grow our boundaries with like where we are right now. I feel like we have a good caseload, a good like clientele where we are, and we want to help like as many people in the Denver metro area. So definitely growth over the next 3 to 5 years, adding therapists, adding area to that, and sustainable growth. We've grown a lot since August of last year.
Do you track annual growth or quarterly growth?
Nothing that we have done yet. It's been, like I said, like since last August, it's been pretty wild as far as like kind of like climbing up like a ladder, right? And I feel
Yeah.
like my business partner Katie is getting married in October, so now is like a point where we're going to take a little bit of a breath and kind of like, go through like the analytics of kind of what we've been doing for the past year. I feel like one of the biggest things I've learned like in this whole business venture is try and do like one major thing at a time. Like when we transitioned to Hello Note, it was the same time that we started out with a biller. And that was like a little crazy, changing your
Mhm.
EMR, changing your whole billing. I'm glad we did it, but changing one thing at a time.
What EMR did you transition from? Did you have an EMR or was it pen and paper?
We were with Hino.
Kino.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Mhm.
Okay.
We were with them for about a year.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So cool. And what advice do you have for therapists that are looking to start a clinic, brick and mortar or mobile?
Yeah, I would say it takes time to build. I'm one that wants things done like immediately, but it's all right to like slow down and see how things progress, especially in the business world, right? Because like we're really not taught a lot of that in school. So it's a lot of like self-learning and like give yourself the grace of like making mistakes. I feel like making mistakes is like how we learn the best, right? So like just
Mhm.
like slow down, like know you're gonna make mistakes and nothing's that like when it comes down to it, nothing's that like catastrophic or crazy with any like mistake that you do make, right?
Absolutely.
Like take the time to like build relationships, and if you're not like ready to like make like the full leap like into being like self-employed, like take your time with it, whatever you're comfortable with as far as like a backup while you do build it. One of like the best things that I've learned doing this and like talking to other business owners in multiple realms, but even like I have like a group of PTs that we meet with like once a quarter that all have our own like little small businesses.
In
And
person. Sorry, in person in Colorado, or is it online?
yes, in
Nice.
person. Yeah, there's like I think like 5 different businesses, and we all do different things, but it's nice to
Uh-huh.
like bounce ideas off of each other, and just like grow. Like being self-employed is it's a bit scary and a bit lonely, right? Because you feel like you're in a silo, but like
Absolutely.
reaching out to other clinicians who are in the same boat as you is not like a bad thing, right? I feel like there's like a competitor mindset that you can get into, or like team mindset with other clinicians, right? Like there's so many people that live here, there's so many people to help, like it really doesn't, I feel like, suit you well to be like super like competitive and super siloed with.
Interesting kind of mindset. I like that. You don't look at them as competitors, but just your colleagues that helping.
Yeah, even other like mobile PT businesses, I mean, we've met with, and it's a community, right? There's a lot of people to help and a lot to go around, and I'd rather, if I can't see somebody, whether it's distance or time or anything like that, I'd rather be the person to be able to refer them to somebody good, right?
And my last question for you, is there like a book within physical therapy or a business book that you read and you recommend, podcast or like an audio book?
Like starting off in the PT realm, and especially like the Medicare-based mobile PT realm, I was very disappointed that I did not take Tony Maritato's Zero to Pig course as far as like a business book. I really like, I think it's Infinite Game. I think it's Adam Scott, maybe.
Okay. Okay.
Um, that was pretty eye opening. Kind of like the same thing he talks about instead of like competitors, like the worthy rivals kind of a thing, which I feel like is a good mindset going into it.
It's a good one. All right, Derek, thank you for your time today. Really, pleasure meeting you and learning about Roman rehab and the kind of things, that led you to start your clinic and your journey. And thank you for being a Helena customer.
I mean, thank you. You guys have been, pivotal to us. I really enjoyed the communication and the collaboration. Building reports that we need, changing things that need to be changed within the EMR. That like any suggestions that we have, like that new the new map where we can see like where our clinicians are seeing
Oh
people
yeah.
is going to be a game changer for us. So you guys have been incredibly open to feedback, and just we can't tell you thank you enough.
Thank you, Derek. I appreciate it. Yeah, we try to listen. We're a therapist, run and operated, and we try it really hard. Sometimes it takes longer than we would like, but we definitely put it on the list and we try to get to it. And especially if, multiple clients are reporting on something or asking us to implement something. And I know, especially for mobile clinics, we do have a lot of mobile clients, and I know that map is a game changer for a lot of clinics. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for your feedback.
It's gonna be really nice. Yeah. I'll keep the feedback coming.
Thanks. All right. Thank you for your time again. I'll talk to you soon.